You know that feeling when communication seems to fall apart, when you're trying to talk to someone, maybe a partner, a friend, or even a colleague, but no matter how hard you try, they just don't get what you're saying. It's frustrating, isn't it? You're doing your best to explain yourself, but somehow your words don't seem to have the impact you want. Instead of building understanding, it feels like a wall is going up between you two. Well, here's the thing. Healthy communication isn't something that just happens. It's something that needs to be practiced, just like any other skill, and the more you practice, the better you get at it. So, how do you build better communication in your relationships? Let's start with the basics, the foundation of healthy communication, which is listening. Now, I know you might be thinking, I already know how to listen, but active listening is different from just hearing the words someone is saying. When you listen actively, you're not just waiting for your turn to talk. You're fully present. You're tuning into the other person's words, their emotions, and even their body language. This type of listening requires focus and patience, because you're not just processing the words, but also understanding the context behind them. For example, when your partner shares something important, it's about giving them your full attention. Not multitasking, not thinking about what you're going to say next. Just listen, let them talk, and when they're done, you can respond thoughtfully, showing that you heard them and that you care about their thoughts and feelings. When you listen actively, you create a space where the other person feels heard and valued. That's one of the most powerful things you can do in any relationship, whether it's a romantic partner or a close friend. Making them feel understood can strengthen the bond between you two. Now, active listening isn't just about hearing words, it's also about paying attention to nonverbal cues. You might not realize it, but a lot of communication happens through body language. Your posture, your facial expressions, and even your tone of voice speak volumes. If your words say one thing but your body language says another, it can send mixed signals and cause confusion. That's why when communicating, it's important that your words and your nonverbal cues match. For example, if you're telling your partner you're okay, but your arms are crossed and you're avoiding eye contact, your partner might feel like something is wrong, even if you're saying otherwise. So check in with yourself about how your body language aligns with your words. Now, let's move on to another important aspect of healthy communication. Being clear and direct. It might sound simple, but in practice it can be a challenge. How many times have you found yourself beating around the bush, not saying exactly what you mean, or expecting the other person to read between the lines if you want to be understood? It's important to be straightforward and clear about your thoughts and feelings. Say what you mean. Don't make the other person guess or assume. If something's bothering you, don't wait until you're frustrated. Just say it. Of course, it's important to be kind and respectful in how you express yourself, but don't shy away from being clear. Direct communication helps avoid misunderstandings, which can prevent unnecessary arguments or confusion down the road. But being clear and direct doesn't mean being harsh. It's about striking a balance between honesty and compassion. Sometimes you'll need to bring up difficult topics or have conversations that may feel uncomfortable, but it's how you approach those moments that makes the difference. One key strategy is using I statements instead of you statements. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try saying, "I feel unheard when I'm talking and you don't respond." This shifts the focus from blaming the other person to expressing your own feelings. It's less accusatory and opens up a space for the other person to respond without feeling defensive. Another important strategy is timing. Communication isn't just about what you say, it's also about when you say it. There's a time and place for everything, right? Sometimes, trying to have an important conversation when you or your partner are stressed or distracted might not be the best idea. Wait for a time when both of you are calm and can give each other your full attention. If you're trying to talk to your partner while they're watching TV or in the middle of something else, chances are they won't be as receptive to what you have to say. So, before starting a conversation, check the timing. Make sure both of you are in the right headspace to listen and understand. One strategy that's particularly effective in healthy communication is being open to feedback. It's easy to get defensive when someone points out something that bothers them, especially if you feel like you're doing your best. But here's the thing, every relationship has room for improvement, and sometimes the other person's perspective can shed light on things you may not have noticed. When your partner gives you feedback, take a deep breath and listen without interrupting. Try to understand where they're coming from, even if it's hard to hear. When you're open to feedback, it creates an environment where both people can grow together. Another powerful tool for building healthy communication is empathy. This one is huge because it helps bridge the gap between your partner's experience and your own. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's about putting yourself in their shoes and truly trying to feel what they feel. When you communicate with empathy, it shows your partner that you care about their emotions and their perspective. It makes your conversations more meaningful and less about winning the argument, and more about understanding each other. So, the next time you're in a disagreement, instead of focusing on being right, try to understand why your partner feels the way they do, and how you can support them. Let's not forget the power of validation. Validation is so important in relationships. It's all about acknowledging the other person's feelings, even if you don't completely understand them. When you validate your partner's emotions, you're telling them, I see you, I hear you, and your feelings matter. This helps them feel safe to express themselves without fear of being judged or misunderstood. Validation strengthens the emotional connection between you and your partner, and it makes them feel respected. Lastly, let's talk about conflict resolution. Disagreements are a natural part of any relationship, but it's how you handle them that can make or break the connection. Healthy communication in conflict involves staying calm, avoiding personal attacks, and focusing on the issue at hand. Instead of shouting or becoming defensive, try to stay grounded and express your feelings without blaming. Remember, the goal of conflict resolution isn't to win, it's to find a solution that works for both of you. Acknowledge your partner's feelings, work together to find a compromise, and always focus on moving forward, not staying stuck in the past. Building healthy communication skills takes time, but it's worth it. When you communicate effectively, you create a deeper connection with your partner, you reduce misunderstandings, and you build a foundation of trust and respect. So practice these strategies, work on your communication every day, and watch as your relationships grow stronger and more fulfilling. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share because you'll learn more helpful communication tips and relationship strategies in the next video. Stay tuned!